everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was released back in 2011. It's a flanker of an original iconic fragrance. We're talking about Fahrenheit Aqua, or Aqua Fahrenheit. Now, this is the box. It's obviously from Christian Dior. It's got this black box, it's got the red labeling on it, it's got your standard Christian Dior, and this is the actual bottle itself. Bottle looks just like the Fahrenheit bottle. It's almost, exactly similar. The only difference, obviously, it's got the Aqua. It says it's Aqua Fahrenheit. Now, I got this bottle from Fragrance Net. If you check out their site, you can see you can probably buy this one off. I saw the latest price was 30% off the original price, which comes out to something like $60 or so, which is pretty good, just because the Dior fragrances and Chanel fragrances tend to keep their value for a long time, so it generally tends to be a little bit more difficult of a time to find some discounts on the fragrances. But anyways, check it out. Links are down below that you can go ahead and purchase this fragrance, right? Now, it comes in two usual main sizes, a 4.2 and a 2.5 ounce. This is the 4.2 bottle. Not changed at all from the other things. The only thing that actually did change, sorry about that, is the cap. The cap from the original is a little bit different, and this one is actually a little bit annoying because it almost looks like you have to take the top off if you see that line right there. So just a little bit of annoyance, but it's not a big deal at all. All right? So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the notes. Notes of the fragrance are listed on screen. Biggest takeaway with this, immediately when I spray it, I'm thinking, okay, if you don't know me, you know that I have a history with the Fahrenheit fragrance. Fahrenheit originally, I tried it, I smelled it, I said, okay, I respect the scent. It's a different scent. It's very well put together. It's very well made, but it's not the greatest scent. I'm not in love with the scent. So that was my reaction initially. After time went on, however, I was like, all right, came back to it about 2 years later and fell in love with it. I fell in love with that petroleum vibe. I fell in love with that essence of Fahrenheit, and it's been in my fall kind of rotation ever since. So Aqua Fahrenheit, I'm coming into it with that in mind, and immediately when I spray it, I do get sort of a petroleum-ish vibe, but it's under the radar. You get more of a grapefruit, a tangerine, you get a very lively type of a citrus smell when you first spray it, with those undertones of that petroleum-ish vibe that's coming from like the violet and some of the other notes that are kind of put into there. And so as time kind of comes on a little bit more, that petroleum note secedes into the background and leather comes up. It's like leather and grapefruit, and it becomes its own thing. This truly does fit the vibe of a flanker because it has remnants of the original Fahrenheit, but at the same time it goes in its own direction. It becomes more of a lively, manly type of a scent, with the grapefruit and the leather put together, and that is on the skin. Now, the performance isn't as great as the original Fahrenheit, which I did expect because of the fact that it's an Aqua version of it. I go generally 3 to 7 or 8 sprays, to be honest, with this one. It's not, you can't really choke people out. It's just not the really composition of this fragrance to choke people out, and I like to create a stronger presence with this one. This is one that I wear to casual, I wear it to work. It's a really versatile fragrance that you can wear in almost any scenario if you so choose. As far as season goes, I do think that this is a little bit more geared towards the spring and the summer. Fahrenheit is a fragrance that I only tend to wear in the fall, but this is one that I'll wear on the polar opposite in spring, basically, and see how that actually fares out. And it actually does fare out pretty well, right? Now, for performance, like I mentioned, is not as good as Fahrenheit. I get about a good solid 5 hours out of this one. It's still on my skin after after a full day, but the problem is it's so muted. It's so just like under the radar that it's might as well not even be there, right? So that's my performance. Compliment wise, I didn't get any overt compliments with this sucker. This is one that when people smelled it, they actually had mixed reactions. Some loved it, some didn't like it. somewhere, you know, of the mind, but I do think that when worn properly, this can be a good signature scent. It may not garner a huge amount of compliments, but you will leave an impression. It's not your run-of-the-mill, and still isn't, even after, it's been at least 6 years ago, and it still isn't your run-of-the-mill citrusy type scent. So if you're looking for a citrus in a different type of a vein, this is something you definitely want to look towards, and I think any age group can pull this sucker off. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating 4 out of 5 stars. At the end of the day, this is a great fragrance. It's a unique citrusy fragrance with a nice original take, or I wouldn't say original, but it's a nice take on the Fahrenheit name itself. So, you know, the fact that it's a flanker, it really does come off as a flanker of that scent. If you can find it for a good price, I wouldn't necessarily, if you can find it for a good price, and by good price I mean around 60-ish, then I would definitely go out and take a look at this scent. The one thing that it has going against it, I don't think it's the most complimented fragrance that's out there. I don't think it's a heavy compliment getter. If you have any other success with it, feel free, mention it down below, and, you know, help everyone out. But the other thing is, as well as that, because Dior has, you know, such a really good hold on their distribution, if you will, and maybe a little bit harder to acquire. I noticed at one point it was, but now it seems to be back and a little bit easier to acquire. It's just another thing to keep in mind. All right, so that concludes my review for Fahrenheit Aqua. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave me a message. Again, fragrance is available for purchase. Link is down below specifically, and you can get a great deal on the fragrance. All right, thank you guys, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.